Fine art, it's a very uncomfortable course. It puts you at the edge, and it puts you in a position where you question everything, you question reality itself. So you have questions about whether you should study art and whether you shouldn't study art, or you're thinking around that thought of studying art or not studying art. You don't necessarily need to study art at varsity or college. You can be a self-taught artist. But here I'm going to talk about people who genuinely feel that they need or want or desire to talk, or to you wanting to study art, or you thinking around the idea of studying art, or you want to pursue art through a formal education, or you're not wanting to be a self-taught artist. Also, I kind of think for me personally, looking at it, it's specifically for those who are desiring to study art. As a black person, I think it's really important, for you to be taking that route. I think, some of the things that I'll be sharing are my opinions, thoughts, and experiences that I'll be sharing. So just be open-minded about this video. Just be open-minded about what I'm going to say. So the first thing, I did not study art at school. I did the basic or well-known South African subject, I guess, which is pure mathematics, physical sciences, geography, life sciences, life orientation, English, and I did home language as Sesotho, and first edition language as English. So basically I didn't really study art. Art just came after my high school times, which was, I matriculated in 2018 and then I took a gap year in 2019. So that's where my art journey basically started in 2019. And the reason why I took a gap year in 2019 was because I didn't basically know what to do, or actually why. I had those I think existential type of moment where I didn't know what to study. I didn't feel like studying anything, so I took a gap year. So during the gap year I got bored and I just wanted to find something, looking for a job, applying, I even attended some short courses, just to keep myself active and productive, just to keep the mind sharp, reading, doing, active stuff. And then on my birthday, it happened that I started drawing, and I liked it, and I showed it my mother, and she's like, "Yo, bro, do art. Why don't you just study art?" I'm like, "Oh, that's a good idea." And that's how it came about. My mother, just giving me an idea to study art. And look at me right now. I'm loving what I'm doing, and it's something that I really enjoy, and I think it's God-given gift. So the reason I'm telling you this story is that to tell you that you don't necessarily need to have an art background to pursue art in higher education. So I'm going to share the things that you going to need for you to actually be accepted for varsity level entrance. So before I can really explain what you need to get to be accepted at the varsity level, there's certain preconceived ideas about art school, and I need to clarify that schools, especially South Africans, art schools are not what you see, in the movies, where you see a naked body there, they don't get me wrong, there are some parts where you can do that, but I don't think every institution does that. I'm not sure. What I'm saying is, everything that you had, every idea, expectation, any other form of ideologies that you have about fine arts or about studying art in a formal way, I think you need to, step back and just reassess that. And that's what I'm planning to try to explain here, and I hope I'll justify that, and I hope I'll be explaining it properly for you. Studying art at an institution is so very theoretical, and I want to prepare anyone who wants to study art that you need to be very, very much invested in reading. You need to be very, very much invested in research. Okay, obviously we'll learn how to research, but it's so very based in theory and research and reading. It's not so much on painting, building stuff. There are those elements, but they're so little. They're not so much of importance than the theory and research and assignments and actually building understanding of art in theory or theory in art. It's a very difficult, okay, maybe not difficult, but it's a very complex, I guess. It's a very not so much of an easy way of saying, okay, let me just study art just to get away from the world. Trust me, you won't succeed if you're not a person who loves to read, if you're not a person who enjoys, or maybe pushes themselves to love engaging with, literature, basically. Because the way it's so very intense in reading and research and all those things, it's so deep, it's so very deep. And it brings me also to this other point. The theory of it's so very based in history, but not just past history, but the present history. By saying present history, I mean living in the present moment is a form of history. How they teach it in my institution is that they very looking history, they looking at art and history, and how art influences history, and how history is influenced by art, and how all those aspects are influenced by society, culture, politics. And there's an intense conversation around slavery, colonialism, and apartheid, and Africa itself, and the Western ideologies and African ideologies. So it's a very intense and a very emotionally taxing course, because it will teach you a lot about the world, and it will teach you a lot about yourself, and it will teach you a lot about the idea of race, sexuality, gender, all these isms and other concepts. It will teach you a lot about the world, and you're not only going to learn the world in this good side or maybe what you see in media, but you will really learn the depth of media. You will really learn the depth of visuals, and you really learn about sounds and how those things actually affect and influence our daily life. Find out it's a very uncomfortable course. It puts you at the edge, and it puts you in a position where you question everything. You question reality itself, and you question a lot of stuff that are happening in your life right now. And you question, it's a very existential, I guess, it's a very existential course. And with that, it comes with this idea of how art is a very multidimensional, discipline, because it includes a lot of other departments or courses or other fields: anthropology, geology, philosophy. It expands to other fields, and in a way that it's so complex and it's so very hard to understand or comprehend. With all those things and its diversities, it's so very broad and diverse that it's so very hard to focus on one particular thing without connecting it to other things. It's so very, how I would explain it. I think I would explain it like that scene. I don't know if anyone has watched The Flash. I think the 2023. There's this part where Flash went to another dimension, or to the past, and he changed the past, and what happened was, after changing the past, it's like a mash, like spaghetti or maybe pasta, that. So I think this course is like that. It's so very intertwined and so very that it's so difficult or not so easy for you to follow through, especially for a person who's coming from high school directly to varsity, and then you get this whole different world. This type of content or this type of learning can really assist a lot of young black artists or young black aspiring artists or any black person. I genuinely believe that it's really important for you to understand that kind of history, and especially in the perspective of blackness, and understanding art history and the idea of blackness and the idea of blackness in history and in the present times. So I think it's genuinely a beautiful way to really engage with art and engage with history, and I think those are really important things in the present times, especially in this time of AI. Okay, let's move away from the idea, and I hope I have clarified and tried to ease your mind and your heart and your expectations a little bit, so that when you go there you won't get too overly excited, or maybe you won't get too disappointed by getting there not really finding any fulfillment because they never reached your standard of expectations. Yeah. So let's talk about the good stuff. What can we say are the benefits of studying art? There are a couple, but also it depends on what you're looking for, or what is your purpose or your reason for you to study art. We have different reasons, and so it will automatically influence our expectations in some way. But to name a few, I guess I would say, studying art, it really helps you to figure out what kind of medium you enjoy. Because as much as I said, it's very theoretically based. Writing, it's also a form of art. It's a way of expressing yourself. It's a way of finding to connect the thoughts and the world and really communicate and have a line or medium to communicate it with. And writing is one of them. And I think studying art gives you that opportunity to explore that kind of medium. But there are other mediums that are exploring, like painting, sculpture, photography, printmaking, and woodworking. They teach you a little bit about how to, I think, carpentry or something like that. But it will also depend on where you fall through. Like I said, it depends on the kind of person you are. So now I'm still exploring my kind of thing, but I really enjoy. I really enjoy painting. I really enjoy writing. I really enjoy printmaking and a little bit of sculpting. And I'm also in digital arts. It gives you that access to that, and also it helps you, or maybe it eases through art supplies. Oh my goodness, art, it's so expensive. People, art is so expensive. Oh my goodness. Woo! Art is so expensive. Okay, cool. But anyway, art is expensive, and that's why we kind of, as artists, we need to really charge these people a lot of money. If you're an artist, don't back down, bro. Don't back down. If you're buying your art supplies, if you really are investing in yourself, energy, time, and everything, dude, you need to make sure that you say a very reasonable price. A very reasonable price. Art supplies are expensive, but it provides you with art supplies, which is a good thing. Even though it's limited art supply, but it's good. Personal art studio. Oh my goodness, this is it's a luxury for especially especially for for a beginner artist or starting off artist, it's so beautiful to have your own space where you can just paint, put things on the wall, and just, oh my god, it's such a beautiful thing to be in, and you're surrounded by other creatives. You're just there, music, energy flowing, good vibes. It's so really beautiful to be around other artists and just being in there. And I think that's another positive thing. Art community, as artists, we're always in isolation and very excluded from reality or from the world itself. But I think being in such spaces is really inspiring and very motivating, and very it keeps you in check, and always you try to show up, you always try to improve yourself, so it's a very beautiful thing to be in. So yeah, that's another thing. Portfolio development. You build up a portfolio for future job endeavors and everything. If you want to practice, if you want to be a practicing artist, then you can go for galleries or any other form of thing that you can go for. You can go for a job strictly, yeah. So that's one of the things. And if you really want me to make another video, just write in the comment that we need a video about portfolio development, and to see some of my works, then I'll certainly do that. But if yeah, I'll certainly do it either way. Yeah. Okay, there are many more other reasons, as I said in the video. But if you want to learn more, or if you want to read more, you can go to my website in my blog, where I go in depth about this topic, and you can find the link in the description down below. And remember, on your way down there, just give a like and that subscribe button and the notification bell, so you get notified every time I post. It boils down to this question. Should you or should you not study art? If you really made it till this far and you're still thinking that I should definitely go for art, I should definitely go for it, this is something I want to do, then yeah, my boy, that's a good sign that's telling you that you should certainly go for art. You should certainly study art. And so yeah, man, go for it, study art, do that. And my answer is yes. And if you made it till this far for vibes, you know how it goes, man. Support the channel by subscribing, increasing the channel, just to give that like for the algorithm. Bonus, another thing is that, the most important thing for you to get accepted to any institution is number one, good grades. Good grades. Your AP score needs to be proper. Your AP score needs to be good. And then number two, your English needs to be proper. They look at English also, I think, home language, I don't know. Yeah, but English needs to be proper. The third point is that you need to have a portfolio. How good? I'll make a separate video for that. But now what you can do is you can start doing some drawing, start doing some painting, start doing some sketching. If you haven't bought any paint, go paint, my boy. Get that paint, my boy. But yeah, at least 10. If you're pushing it, make it 20. And I suggest that you should make it 20, but at least have 10 visual reference that you are showing that you have made art and you are ready for or ready to study art. So yeah, man, let's do that. Let's go for it so they can get accepted. And I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you really made it to this far, I really thank you for watching the video, and give that like, and for the algorithm, the subscribe button, for the growth, man, so that I can still be doing this for the next 10 years, and I'll still be growing and still be pushing, and I'll still be giving you some worthwhile and valuable information for your art practices and for your growth and for your personal life, because I'm not just an artist, I'm a human being. The interaction needs to be there in the channel. I need to feel your emotions, so your thoughts, anything that you want to share in the comment below. Give people advices, give people some thoughts, give people what they need to know if I missed anything. And so yeah, man, I really enjoyed making this video, and I hope you did too. And if you did, the jazz, everything how it goes. And so if you really are bored, and if you're still bored, if you're still up for the next video, you can watch my other videos where I paint, when I go to the public and engage with the audience, and asking some questions, beautiful questions. So I'll see you in the next one, man, and I love you all. Peace and out.